Hello everyone, my name is Mathis Urindil, and welcome to Pleasantview 40 years later. This is a Pleasantview save that I have progressed 40 in-game days for each family, or as the way I play, 40 years. I've done numerous videos like this on other neighborhoods like Strangetown, River Blossom Hills, and Veronaville, and I really wanted to play everybody's favorite not River Blossom. That's not everybody's favorite. It is Pleasantview, which is right here. And I had been putting it off because Pleasantview always just seems like the vanilla neighborhood. And while vanilla is not bad, I would always go for a vanilla soft serve cone over something like chocolate or strawberry or whatever else. I just wanted to experience the less standard neighborhoods first. And like I had played this neighborhood, Pleasantview, many times over the years, but when I first started doing my serious rule-based playthroughs of all the neighborhoods, Pleasantview was kind of the furthest from my mind. But I went in, and you know what? I had a pretty good time. So I thought I would go ahead and show you guys everything that's happened in the last 40 years of this Pleasantview. And the first place that I think we should check out is 150 Main Street with the Lothario family. Now, before I start explaining everything that's happened in Don's household here, I did want to say that I've been trying to play the vanilla household as close to vanilla as possible. By that I mean as close to base game. I've only allowed the Sims to have relationships, at least romantic relationships, with like base game townies. So the Sims that appear in Pleasantview or every like custom neighborhood that you make, those kind of townies, if they're like a downtownie or an apartment sim or anything like that, the Sims really don't interact with them too much. Clothing is another thing that I tried to keep as close to base game as possible. I might have messed up a few times. But yeah, you're not going to see like Lily Do get married into a household like that. You'll see something like a Jan Tellerman, who did not get married into one of these towns, but that kind of sim. So anyways, without further ado, here is Don Lothario, and Sable is apparently here to say hi. Say hi, Sable. So Don is essentially the same sim that you know from the beginning of the game. He hasn't really changed all that much. He is a level 6 general practitioner in the medical career. I think that's what he starts as. I don't think he's ever actually gotten promotion. He hasn't really cared about that sort of thing. He's really just cared about women. At one point, he did convince Kaylin Langerek to move in as his live-in maid. And Kaylin was very much okay with that because she was totally in love with Dawn. She kind of had broken things off with Daniel at that point. So they moved in she moved in with him, and she ended up getting pregnant with Ronnie here, who is gonna apparently woohoo with his partner. So we're gonna ignore that. And then eventually, Kaylin whittled him down, and they eventually got married. So here's Kaylin. She never got a job because she literally just lived in as the live-in maid and eventually wife of Dawn. Poor Kaylin. I mean, she's been happy. She's gotten everything she's wanted out of life. Dawn has also gotten everything he wanted out of life, even if that did not match with Kaylin. But yeah, they had a child together, Ronnie Lothario, who... Okay, they're under the covers now. So this is Ronnie Lothario. He is a Virgo and is probably... he's not really like either of his parents. He's a very unique sim. Very high in everything except for outgoing. He's very shy. He does not have a job currently, but he's a family sim like his mom, so he may just end up never getting one. But then he married Michelle Kearney, who is a cashier, a just standard Pleasantview, a cashier. But she is a lab assistant in level 2 in the science career, and is doing fairly well. She's still very young, so she's got a ways to go. But then Michelle and Ronnie have little Aaron Lothario. This is Dawn's grandson here. Hello. I don't think he looks too much like Dawn. If we can get a good look at his face here. There we go. There's a good look at his face. And I don't really know who he looks like. That's definitely not a Dawn nose. It might be a Caitlin nose, but I'm not entirely certain. But actually, looking at it, it might be a Michelle nose. So that is the Lothario family. It's been pretty fun to play. Dawn is not a good guy, but he's definitely an interesting character to play as. And it's been fun. Ronnie is a much, much better person than his father. Now, before hopping into the next household, I wanted to give you guys a reminder that if you were enjoying the video, would you consider leaving a like down below? That really helps me out. And if you want to see more Sims 2 content, or just Sims content in general, maybe consider leaving a subscription. And the next family is very connected to the Lotharios. This is the Caliente family at 170 Main Street. And here is Nina Caliente. Dina does not live here currently. But Nina's kind of had a similar life to Dawn. She hasn't really done too much with her career. I mean, she got to level 7 in the Slacker career, but that's like the easiest career to progress in. You don't have to do a whole lot. But yeah, she's done all right. Yes, Sable's Nina's doing really well, isn't she? I had Sable talking to me and a plane flying over just as I'm trying to record that part. Sorry about that. But yeah, Nina's doing really good. She's only really had one romantic partner as far as I remember. She's really only been with Dawn, but it's been enough to keep her happy. Now she does have one son who is currently wooing. We'll wait for him to stop. But this is Tino Caliente. We're not really sure who his father is. Nina has never really said who it was, she's never really told him, and really he doesn't care too much. But he's kind of a cool guy. He's a popularity sim. He is a Aries, and is currently a level 2 minor leaguer in the athletic career, as is his partner Sophie Miguel, now Caliente. She's a rookie, though. She's a little bit farther ahead of him in her career. But as you can see, they're very much in love, and they're both going to work. They do not have any children yet, but you can see here, Tino very much wants that to happen, and so does Sophie. So that is going to happen very soon in the future. Nina, are you having a thing with Kennedy? Nina's having a thing with Kennedy. Okay. That ACR, everybody. And now for the poster child of the entire Sims franchise, the Goth family at 165 Sim Lane. So here is the Goth family, but we're going to start with Alexander because, of course, Mortimer has passed away. He was not alive for very long in this playthrough. But Alexander is Alexander. He's not any different from what he is in the base game, but he is a level 4 science teacher currently. He's not progressing as far as his father, and he probably will not. But he's doing pretty well. It's not like they need the money in this household. But he's had a very happy life with Lucy Burb. He ended up marrying Lucy, who is, of course, a family sim. So she has not really wanted to get a job. She does want to have another baby, though. I don't know if that'll happen. If ACR allows it to happen, it happens, but I'm not going to force it. But together, Lucy and Alexander have one child. This is Balthazar Goth. And Balthazar looks so much like his father. And there's definitely some Lucy in there, too. But he is a Libra and is very, very nice. One of the nicest Sims in the town, if not the nicest. But I really love Balthazar. He's a really cool guy. Family Sim like his mom. I don't think he's currently seeing anybody. No, he's not. But it is something that might happen in the future. But here is Dina Caliente, or Dina Goth as she is known now. She did marry Mortimer. Nothing really came of that marriage. But then eventually she kind of had an eye on the Goth's maid, Remington Harris, who is not here. I don't know if he's going to show up in this recording or not. But But yeah, she has a thing for had a thing for Remington Harris, even though she's a fortune sim. She just kind of liked the working class help guy. They had Woohoo. They still have Woohoo all the time. I don't know why she just doesn't want to marry him. It's never came up. But together they had Rena Harris, and this is Rena. She is if I hit the right button, she is an Aries. Is very nice, not as nice as Balthazar, but very nice. Is very outgoing, and she's a popularity sim, and I think she's doing pretty good. I really like her. I actually really like her a lot. I think she's very pretty, but I think she gets most of that from Dina. Dina, though, has no job. She's never had a job. She's never really wanted to work, even though she's a fortune sim. She's had everything she's ever wanted because of her marrying Mortimer. Although Rena does want to get a job in the business career, and hopefully she gets that fairly soon. But yeah, that is the Goth family, and I guess the Harris family. Dina is having a good time. Her max enthusiasm in music from listening to her daughter play piano. That's really cute. The next family we're going to check out is the Oldie family at 95 Woodland Drive. It is a very different family. You're not going to recognize... Well, you'll recognize one of the Sims if you play any Pleasantview or custom neighborhood. But yeah, the original Oldies are, of course, gone. They did not last very long at all. But we'll hop in and I'll explain more. So, Herb and Coral were obviously elders when they started the game, but they had really nothing to do, and they were going to be around for a sizable amount of time. Not nearly as short as Mortimer, but enough that I wanted them to maybe adopt another child. So, this is Claude Oldie. Claude is a Capricorn, very playful, fairly neat, but very lazy sim. And he is, I guess he would be the sibling of Mary Sue, the adopted sibling of Mary Sue. And he is currently level 8 in the political career as a judge. He's just kind of gotten all these skills, even though I don't let Sims or force Sims to get careers past level 5. But he keeps rolling once to get skills, so I've been letting him do that, and he's just naturally progressed in his career. So then he ended up marrying Meadow Thayer, who is one of the Pleasantview teen townies. They fell in love when they were teens and got married. She's the same as always, fairly sloppy, kind of shy. Yeah, so she's just kind of a rounded sim. But she is a level 4 science teacher, so she works probably right alongside Alexander. Together they have Mabel Oldie, who is probably... She's not really like either of her parents, but she takes off after, in appearance-wise, a lot like her father. I think she maybe has her mother's nose. And then this here is Aaron Oldie. And Aaron is an adopted son of Meadow and Claude, because I thought it would be cute if we continued Herb and Coral's tradition of adopting at least one kid. So I think there will always be an adopted kid in the Oldie family. I just think that's really cute, and it kind of just harkens back to Claude and Mary Sue and just the whole family. I think it's really nice. But then Claude here is, an Aries, very neat, very outgoing, fairly active. So he's different from his entire family, which is really nice. I like having very variable Sims in households. It's always just something really nice. They also have a genie lamp, and I believe it is Claude's. If I look back here, was it Claude's that got it? No. Meadow? Who got the genie lamp? Was it Mabel? Mabel, did you get the genie? It was Mabel. So this is Mabel's genie lamp. So if she ever rolls a wish, maybe she can get something nice from the genie. And now on to one of my more troublesome households, the Dreamer family at 195 Main Street. You might see the trouble in this recording. We'll see what happens, but let's just hop in and I'll explain. Alright, so Darren is gone. He has passed away, but we'll start with Dirk Dreamer here. So Dirk is, of course, same as he is at the start of the game, but he is currently vice president in the business career. Same kind of deal as Claude. He just keeps rolling these once for his skills, so he just keeps getting promoted, and he has friends throughout his entire family. He did end up marrying Lilith Pleasant, and they are very good together. I like them a lot. Well, they're very good together because they're just woke up as like, let's just have woohoo immediately after waking up. All right, cool. But Lilith here, again, same as she is at the base game, but she is currently in athletics. She does not care about her career at all. She is very infrequently rolling once. I have to lock this one in so that she does still want it to get that body point. She just does not care about her career. You can see how old she is, and she's just never really progressed in her career at all. It's just not her thing. But Dirk and Lilith have been great together. And I want to say that Lilith has had a great life here, but she has not. You know, she was constantly getting into fights with her sister back in her childhood house, and then she moved here, and her father-in-law's wife constantly caused issues for her. So this is Cassandra Dreamer, or Cassandra Goth. Cassandra ended up marrying Darren not long after Cassandra caught Dawn cheating on her. I think he was probably cheating with I don't know if it was with Kaylin or Nina. It was probably Nina, because Cassandra likes Kaylin, kind of. Or she did at one point. I don't remember. But, so yeah, they broke off their engagement, and then Cassandra fell in love with Darren. I know, Lilith, you don't like her. I know, don't slap her, don't start it. You're not the one that instigates stuff. Just don't. Go to the bathroom. Or just go somewhere. Go upstairs. But Cassandra and Lilith they don't get along. They're constantly fighting. Cassandra likes her stepson. There's no issues with that. But, yeah, so she married Darren, and she has kind of progressed at the same speed as her brother. She's a level 4 science teacher. Leave Lilith alone. She's going to work. Oh my gosh, Cassandra. Cassandra is the problem. It's 100% Cassandra. Lilith is not causing any issues. I feel so bad for Lilith. But yeah, Cassandra has just been a troublemaker. You wouldn't think that from Cassandra Goth, but she is. But anyways, so Cassandra and Darren together had a child, but we'll see her after a bit. She's in a different household right now. But Dirk and Lilith then had Declan Dreamer. This is Declan. He very much has the pleasant nose. That is Lilith's nose. He got that from his mom. He's unemployed. He's a family sim. He doesn't really care about getting a job. He really just cares about having a baby. But he is a Cancer, and fairly active, fairly nice. I like Declan. He's honestly just a bit boring. There's far too many family sims in this neighborhood, I think. But he's cool. I like the way he looks. I definitely like his pleasant nose. But he has married Ivy Cooper, the teenage one. And Ivy is, of course, very neat and is a knowledge sim. So they just recently got married. So she just moved in. Other than that, they were just dating as teenagers. But she doesn't want a baby, or at least she doesn't think about having a baby right now. Declan, of course, does. So they will have a baby relatively soon, I'm going to imagine. And then we'll hop on over to Lilith's sister, Angela Pleasant, at 215 Sim Lane. So, Mary Sue and Daniel stayed together their entire lives. They have since passed on, but they stayed together their entire lives. But that isn't to say that Daniel ever stopped doing what he was doing. Caitlin did go to Dawn, and she stayed with Dawn, and she stayed faithful to Dawn ever since, she moved in. She didn't have any really any contact with Daniel. But then Daniel started to go out. I mean, he started to have woohoo with his new maid, Lucy. I think her name is Lucy Hanby. If I look in here, yeah, Lucy Hanby was the other maid that Daniel had a thing with. So he never learned. He never changed his ways. But Mary Sue just never caught them. But yeah, here is Angela Pleasant. She is, of course, same as she always is. She's going to go have woohoo with her husband. She is a rookie level 3 in the athletic career, so that means she's doing better than her sister. That's even more rivalry between them, I think. It's just, she's just better than Lilith in every way, you guys. I mean, look at her. She's the good Pleasant twin, Lilith just can't compete. But then she married Dustin Broke. Dustin took her name. And Dustin is still in the, the criminal career. He's a getaway driver, not gateway. But he's okay. I don't mind Dustin too much. He doesn't really do much. He's not like the coolest sim, but it's a nice contrast. I've always really liked the contrast of the bad boy and the good girl, even though I don't think Angela is the good girl everybody thinks she is. She's just not a good sim. I don't like you, Angela. I much prefer Lilith. But regardless, the two of them have had 2 children together. This is Skip Pleasant. Skip is, of course, named after Dustin's father. He has the pleasant nose and the broke face. Not the broken face template, but the broke family face. He is a Leo, is incredibly outgoing, and is incredibly playful, but is a super mean sim. Just super mean. I think his mother rubbed off on him just to an extreme level. He is, I think, not seeing anybody just yet, but maybe, hopefully, after this, I'll expand it to the non-base game sim, so he will hopefully find somebody soon. And then their second sim is Kindness Pleasant. And I think kindness looks more like a broke than a pleasant. But she is a Sagittarius, and she isn't the nicest sim, even though her name is Kindness, but she is so much nicer than her brother. So, of course, she was named before they knew her personality, but I still think it's kind of a cute name. But yeah, that is the Pleasant household. I can't say that I dislike the household now that Daniel's gone, but Angela. Blah! And then connected to the Pleasant household through Daniel is the Burb household at 225 Main Street. Of course, we have John and Jennifer Burb here. They are pretty much the same as they are at the beginning of the game. It's just, old. They're elders now. John never had a job. He never really wanted to get one. He's very much just, the family sim. Again, there's just too many family sims in this neighborhood. It's an epidemic. But he and Jennifer have had a very loving relationship. Everything's been great between them. Jennifer retired at the vice president level of the business career. And together they, of course, have Lucy, who lives in the Goth house. But then they had another child. This is Barry Burb, who is going to have woohoo. I'm going to cancel it out just for right now, so that way I can talk about him. So this is Barry Burb. He is a knowledge sim and already wants to maximize the logic skill, even though, he's not really that old. He already has so much logic. Come on, my dude. Stop it. Come on. Just so many logic points from playing chess up here with his mom. But really cool dude. He is a Pisces. Incredibly active, incredibly nice. Again, I think that's probably same level as Balthazar Goth, who is his brother-in-law? No, that's not his brother. That's Alexander's brother-in-law. It's his nephew. He has the same level of kindness as his nephew. But he is unemployed, not because he doesn't ever want to get a job, just because, well, he's never rolled the want. I guess that does mean he's never wanted one. I want to get him a job. He just hasn't had the want yet. But then he married Christy Stratton. I guess they're not married yet, but they are together. They just haven't rolled the want to get married. Are they engaged? They are engaged. They just don't want to get married yet. But Christy is level 9 in the Slacker career. She just came with that as, she moved in as a townie. But then together they have Johnny Burb. Johnny is, of course, named after his grandfather, and how his grandfather was named in the Sims 1, just different spellings. But Johnny is, very outgoing, incredibly playful. I don't know if he's like any of his family members, really. Maybe more like his grandma than anybody, but I think he's a neat little guy. I don't know exactly what. This might be popularity, now that I'm looking at it. He might be a popularity sim when he grows up, but cool little dude. I like his parents a lot. I like Barry a lot. I like that he's not a family sim. But yeah, that is the Burb family. And the last of the original starting families in Pleasantview, the Broke family at 55 Woodland Drive. Now, up until, I think this round, which is round 10, they were broke. As in, they had no money in the household. And I think it just right when Graylee's partner, which I think is Tasha Go, moved in, they finally got some money in the house. So let's go ahead and hop into 55 Woodland Drive and I'll explain. So yeah, as you can see, there's 24,000 simoleons in the household. That comes from Tasha. But yeah, to start with, this is Willie Broke. He is the last Broke in this household. Really, this household is probably going to be renamed to the Hanby household in the future. But Willie here is Baby Broke. He's the baby that Brandy is pregnant with at the start of the game. And he is a Libra here. He's very nice, same level as Balthazar Goth. And he is currently level 3 in the politics career, doing pretty well. He is currently in love with, I would say, in a relationship with Ricky Cormier. They off and on have 2 bolts of chemistry. It was definitely ATR that had this happen, but he's not really met anybody that he likes more than Ricky. So for the right now, I think that they're a couple in my eyes. Before they go to work, this is Graylee Hanby. This is Brandy's 4th son. I'm going to have him walk over here. He's not going to go to work right now because I'm not going to save this anyways. I think Willie's actually calling Ricky over right now. All they do is have woohoo. I don't even know if it's like a romantic relationship as much as just a woohoo relationship at this point. So yeah, this is Graylee Hanby. At one point, Brandy got rolled the want to fall in love. And I was looking for somebody for her to fall in love with, and she started talking to the mailman, Sheldon Hanby, and they had 2 bolts of chemistry. They really liked each other, and before I knew it, Brandy called over Sheldon for woohoo, and she got pregnant with Graylee. And she fell so in love with Sheldon that they ended up getting married. He moved in. He did not contribute to any of the funds at all. They were, like I said, they were very much broke until Tasha moved in. But this is Tasha Go, and Graylee fell in love with her as a teenager. They're very much a good match between each other. I believe, yeah. And they just fell in love and got married very recently. Graylee wants to have a baby. Does Tasha want to have a baby? Of course she does, because she's one of the 500 family sims that's in this neighborhood. But Graylee here is a Sagittarius. He's fairly sloppy and very shy. And right now he just now got a job as an EMT in the medical career. And then Tasha, of course, is a resident in the medical career. So they have the same kind of career. She's just much, much farther ahead than him. So yeah, the Broke family is the last of the main starting families you have in Pleasantview. So the next families that I'm going to show are just offshoots of the other families. Like you'll notice that Bo isn't here. Where's Bo? Well, we're going to check on his family right now. So this is the Bendett family over here at 70 Middle Lane. And what I said that the Brokes didn't really have a whole lot of money, well, Marissa Bendett moved into the household to be with Bo, and she brought a little bit of money, just enough for them to be able to buy this house over here so that way Bo could move out of the incredibly cramped trailer that the rest of his family moved into or lived in. And really a lot has not happened in this household just yet, other than just everything that happened to Bo in his, while he was lived at home. He fell in love with Marissa. They are a couple. I believe she's quite a bit younger than him, yeah. They're not married or anything. They're engaged. No children. Nothing really has happened just yet. I did not move them in here until the start of round 9. So this household has only existed for 2 rounds. So, yeah, just not a whole lot has happened. But Bo is currently level 5 in the culinary career here as a waiter. And then Marissa is a general practitioner in the medical career. So they are going to get money fairly fast. But there's just not a whole lot of room in this household for them to have a kid. So I'd like them to get money a lot faster so that way if they do have a kid, they have room for them. Like I could always section this bit of the house off to make a little bedroom for the kid. And that might be what I have to do, but yeah. And then the last household that I'm going to go over really doesn't have any connection to any pre-existing Sims, other than they're just the offspring of pre-existing Sims here, is the Sims household, here at 40 Woodland Drive. So this here is Desiree Dreamer. She is the daughter of Darren and Cassandra. So that makes her the granddaughter of Bella Goth, and if you see here, I kind of made her look like your grandma, clothing-wise, a little bit. Not exactly, of course, but as close as I could get. And much like the Bendett household, not a whole lot has happened here, because this one did not come about until the start of round 10. So only 4 years have passed in this household. But she ended up falling in love with Ammon Sims, and he moved into the Dreamer household, and then they moved out almost immediately. Desiree here is unemployed. She's a pleasure sim. I really want her to get a job, but I don't know if she will. She is an Aries. It is incredibly neat, extremely outgoing. They're going to have woohoo on the couch. Cool. But very, very mean. So she kind of started to pick on Lilith too, very much like her mother. I don't know if we'll see Lilith here. So they never got into a fight, but she was constantly being rude to Lilith there. A car just drove by my house with a very loud engine. But she was being rude. Ever since she became an adult, she was being rude to Lilith. So I'm happy that I got her out of the household before they started to fight. And then Ammon here is a level 70 scholar, or level 7 scholar in the side's career, so he's definitely the one bringing home the bucks. Now, neither of them wants kids. I'm not going to force it on them. It's just going to be an ACR kind of thing. But at least they have a room designated for that if they do have a kid. So maybe the trailer would have been better for Bo. But I feel like, after living in the Broke trailer all his life, as cramped as it was, he may not really want to do something like that. But, yeah, that is the quote-unquote Sims family. And that is Pleasantview 40 years later. Like I said at the beginning, it's very much the vanilla neighborhood, and that's not bad. When I go to an ice cream place that serves soft serve, I'm going to get a vanilla cone. But if I'm going to pick out, like, ice cream from the grocery store, I'm going to get vanilla with something else in it. I'm going to get moose tracks with, fudge ripples throughout it. I'm going to get cookie dough. I'm going to get chocolate chip. Those are vanilla at the base, but you kind of need all the extra stuff in there to give it something else. And that's kind of how I see River Blossom Hills. I see River Blossom Hills as Pleasantview Plus. And that might be why I like Pleasantview, or River Blossom more than Pleasantview. I like Pleasantview, but it just needs something more. And I think it is the perfect town to add something like Blue Water to, which I may end up doing in the future. I don't know. I'll probably make a video on Blue Water at some point where I'll discuss where I want to put it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.